at the Higgason house, we have been sewing surgical masks for the hospitals. So I'm going to do a really short tutorial on how I make these masks. First, you're going to cut out a 15 by 7.5 inch rectangle of cotton fabric, and you're going to do a zigzag stitch along the short ends. Then you're going to match up the two shorter ends like this. Take a ruler, and you're going to make a little mark with a Sharpie 1.5 inches from each side. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to sew from this edge to this line and from this line to this edge. So you're going to take your mask and you're going to lay it out so that that seam that you just made is facing up, and you should have a little pocket in the middle, and you're going to fold those edges down and take an iron and you're going to iron them like that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take this back to the sewing machine, flip it inside out, and you're going to sew on both sides of this line right here, sewing down those flaps so you can have a pocket in the middle. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our mask and I'm going to fold it down so there's about like 1/2 inch at the top and our little pockets down here. I'm going to iron it real quickly just to flatten everything out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to make the pleats that go in the face mask so it can spread out over your face. And I usually just kind of eyeball this one, and I make about like 3 or so pleats in the mask, like that. And I hold it down with my fingers, and I take an iron and I run the iron over the pleats just so that they stay in place. So then you're going to cut out 2 36-inch strips of fabric, or bias tape if you have that, and these are going to be the ties that go on the mask so the healthcare workers can tie them behind their head, and you're going to sew them to both ends of the mask. Folding them in half, so it's going to be 18 inches, 18 inches, and making sure that our pocket is toward the top of the mask. I'm going to make sure that there's 18 inches of tape above the mask because the top of your head is wider than the bottom, so you got to make sure that the half of the tape on the top is longer than the tape on the bottom. So I'm just going to sew on this bias tape. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to fold that tape in half, and if you could see on the back how you have these ugly edges, well, when we fold the tape over, it's going to hide those. So now I'm going to sew this tape in half. So now we have one strap to our mask, and we're going to repeat the process for the other side. So here we have a completed mask. On the back we have this little pocket here, and you could take a twist tie and you could put it in there to serve as the nose piece in the mask. And then you could take something like a coffee filter and fold it up a couple times, and this could be a filter. And ta-da, you have a mask. Ta-da! I know that we're all really sad about everything that the coronavirus has taken away from us, but I hope we can be remembered as the generation of Mustangs, not for the moments that we lost, but for everything we gave back to our community.
Once a Mustang, always a Mustang. We
love
love
you,
you, Mustang
Mustang family.
family.